DA, I was thinking the other day, do you think this would be a good time for the Yankees to sell the organization?
Wow, this is random. What makes you ask this?
Well, I was thinking the other day, number one, Hal Steinbrenner came out and he said that they may have certain restrictions on being able to get players in the future because the salaries are getting out of control, which
That's
is
true.
not a very Yankee thing to say, number one. And you're saying this right before Juan Soto is scheduled to be a free agent. As soon as I heard that, I thought Juan Soto's done in New York, especially if they don't win the World Series this year. They're not going to re-sign him. Then I looked at how much the Yankees are worth. Forbes has them valued at $7.1 billion. Eventually, this bubble has to burst where these sports teams are going up and up and up in value. But a team like the Yankees that is so in demand, just because it's valued at 7.1 or 7.2 doesn't mean that it'll sell for that. It'll probably sell for closer to $10 billion. So I'm thinking this is the right time for the Steinbrenners, who aren't, among the top richest owners in baseball. Maybe this would be a good time to sell the team.
That'd be interesting, because you do have a good point. At some point, when is the value going to be kind of reach a peak or level off? They have a lot of money that they can pull out of this thing, right? They make a whole lot of money selling the team. It's interesting. We've seen pretty consistent over the last, what has it been, 4 or 5 years, even longer than that, where they've been talking a lot more about payroll, a lot more about things are getting too expensive, players are getting too expensive. That's conversations we never heard from them in the past, right? Things that they had never really quite said until recently, until the last, like I said, 5-6 years. It's an interesting environment in baseball because you have these other owners coming up, especially right across the street in Queens, that have more money, that want to spend, that want to pick it up. The Dodgers there's almost no limit in sight. Other teams are wanting to invest more, and it's definitely an interesting proposition. Like I said, worth valued 7. I mean, I thought it'd be even more. They're worth a lot, and I think they'd have a lot of people want to buy them.
And it's actually funny that you mentioned that because I came up with a couple of names that could theoretically be interested. Now, I have no idea, but there are a couple of guys who have a ton of money, have an interest in baseball, and don't own a team. And they're both from Japan. Have you ever heard of a man named Tadashi Yanai?
No.
Tadashi Yanai is worth about $30 billion. He owns the company that owns Uniqlo.
What's Uniqlo? Is that Soul Glow? Is that like the dad of Soul Glow?
No. You're not going to let your Soul Glow just let it shine through. Which I'm actually quite shocked that you know what Soul Glow is because, you don't have any hair to speak of. But Uniqlo is a clothing company, very, very popular in the United States and extremely popular in Japan. And this guy has $30 billion. And you can guess that when he sees the amount of money being brought into Japan from Major League Baseball and from Ohtani, you would think, wait a minute, I want some of this.
I could see it. 100%. I could see these guys trying to bring in new money. And that's the thing. Major League Baseball, I think, wouldn't mind more Japanese ownership. Some people that want to come in from other places and buy the team and not just keep it to these basically American owners. I could see that. I see a lot of people wanting them. I could see a whole group wanting to buy the Yankees and a whole lot of people getting in line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because it's valued at $7.2 billion doesn't mean that it's going to sell for that. It could start a bidding war. A team like the Yankees, first of all, franchises don't come up for sale every day. But a team like the Yankees, who's one of the top 10 most recognizable sports names in the entire world, there's so much more value to that than just what it says on pen and paper.
Who would you want? If you could pick somebody, who would you want to enter Major League Baseball as an owner? Who would be fun? Who would you want?
I mean, we've talked about Mark Cuban for years wanting a baseball team. He tried to buy the Pirates, and I think he tried to buy the Cubs at one point. They had no interest in bringing him in. That's who I would like, but not if it's the Yankees, because I don't want the Yankees spending money and getting better. I want all those players coming over to Queens. But for a pure baseball standpoint, I would love to see that guy Cuban is just awesome.
Well, there's a lot of good things about him. I think a lot of his things when he entered the NBA as the owner, like a lot of that fun and enjoyment, that was great at the time. I think it's kind of died off now a little bit, right? I think the one thing is he's gotten really political, and that would divide a lot of people. And it's like so in that realm that it's like he's no longer the Mavericks guy. He's this political guy. But it's funny. He's actually become more famous, I think, from a TV show that he did as like basically turning around the NBA and how they looked at teams and team management and fun and enjoyment. What about like actors? I think it'd be fun to have like, I don't know, just New York to me feels like you gotta like, if you got some like fun New York, like what if like Spike Lee, right? Like what are the groups led by like Spike Lee or one of these people that are like a New York through and through fun, like you see them on courtside, stuff like that. They'd be fun. That'd be interesting, like a Jay-Z type of thing where you see these people courtside, you see them having enjoyment, being like a New York feel at the same time, some of the entertainment.
I don't think there's anybody in the entertainment business that has the kind of money to spearhead being the majority owner of the Yankees. They would have to have $4 or $5 billion to be the majority owner. I don't see any entertainers having that kind of money.
The Dodgers, Magic Johnson is not by any means, not even remotely close to the majority owner, but he's the face. No. He was the face when they bought it. Like you can have a face, you can have somebody there be the face. So who would you want that? Who would you want on if it's not like actual, they're the number one money guy, but who would you want on the sidelines, on the first baseline, like on top step, yelling at the umpires?
That's very easy. Jason Alexander, George Costanza.
Yes.
You know that you're going to have some cotton jerseys, baby.
That would actually be absolutely hilarious. That would be wonderful. You give him a front office role, assistant to the traveling secretary. 100%. That'd be the owner slash. That would, if I did it, it'd be owner slash assistant to traveling secretary.
And another guy wouldn't be as funny would be Billy Crystal, because you know that guy loves the Yankees. He's the biggest Mickey Mantle fan of all time. I would love to see Billy Crystal own it, but to me, George Costanza through and through. I could see the commercial now after he bought the team. The New York Yankees!
God, that'd be wonderful. That this type of stuff like this need to happen.
It would be good. But let us know what you think out there. If you think the Yankees should be sold, if there's a name that you can come up with that would be funnier, let us know.